Hi guys, you're welcome to another episode of the Gist with Tammy. And if you're actually an ardent listener of this podcast, you should know that this is not Tammy, right? Of course not, this is not Tammy. I'm Tammy Topwe, I'm Tammy's sister, and I decided to introduce today's episode. You're welcome. And with me here is the host with the most and the owner of this podcast, Tammy T.
Guys, I'm super excited right here. Well, welcome to the Gist with Tammy. So basically, yes, you heard from my guests already. So let's just get right into the gist. Yes, so today we're discussing adult friendships. Adult friendships being a scam. So let's get right into it. So childhood friendships. Do you think childhood friendships really last? Is it because why did they last? Is it because of proximity, or were they real connections? What do you think?
Now, there's this saying that they say 20 friends cannot play for 20 years.
Yes.
So if a childhood friendship lasts, it's beyond proximity. It's beyond, being in the same place. It's beyond time, having time for each other. It's actual friendship because it takes intentionality for a childhood friendship to still be intact 20 years down the line. So if that kind of friendship has survived that time frame, it's because the both of you or three of you or whatever your number are actually good friends. Hold on to those kind of friendships.
But these days everybody says, we're busy, we're getting married, we're working, we're dating. So it's because we can't really talk. That's why the friendship is dying out, dying out.
Now,
So
not communicating every day doesn't mean a friendship should die out. I have
mm,
friends that I've had for over 13, 15 years that we do not talk every day. Heck, we might not talk in a month. But when we talk, the catch up, the prayers, it's like we did not talk, but
so
yet we did not talk.
it's more like you can pick up right from where you guys left it
Yes,
off and
exactly. So
everything.
it still boils down to, do you have the right childhood friendship?
Very deep. Oh. Like me now, when people say besties, I've my bestie gone. Like my original bestie from childhood, though, it's from small. Oh. But
Yeah.
people get to think now, when do for how long do you have to be friends for you to say, oh, yes, this is my best friend and whatnot? And even to the fact that some people believe that you can't be of the opposite sex and have somebody of the other sex
That's the
to
Nigerian
become
factor.
your best friend.
It's the
Let's even
Nigerian
delve
factor.
into that just a bit. What do you think about that?
It's the Nigerian factor. I mean, that's what Nigerians think. It's just because of our dirty minds. It's just
Hmm.
the Nigerians spoil them. Because actually, you can't be best friends with your opposite sex and there won't be issues. But those that have been best friends with your opposite sex and there has been problems, there are the reasons why people believe that once opposite sex is in a friendship, more than friendship is going on.
But I don't think it is proper because that's very bad to assume that everybody that you are with, or like your like that my bestie now, everybody assumes, oh, definitely they've dated before, or no, they want to date
But if
later.
you check it,
If
let's
if,
let's
if I
let's
check,
let's let's be objective. If
okay,
if you check it,
okay,
most besties of opposite sex is
mm.
because at some point one of them liked the other in a way, but the other person was not forthcoming. So one of them now decided to settle for bestieship.
Are you serious? I
I'm
can't. I
I'm
know
I'm very
you have to
serious.
back this thing up with facts.
I'm very
I'm
serious.
not. I'm not really certain. So what facts do you have to back this
Technically,
up?
I've not been there because I mean
Okay.
I have opposite sex friends, but
Mm-hmm.
I've not tagged anyone my bestie. Right?
Okay.
I've never done that. But if you check it very well, the ones I'm closest to,
Mm-hmm.
the guy friends I'm closest to, have at some point in time liked me in a different kind of way, but they had to settle for what I was offering, which was friendship.
So that's how they ended up in the besties.
Yeah. Yeah. So, technically, you cannot have bestie of the opposite sex without,
Something
at
else
some
happening.
point somebody was catching feeling,
Me,
but
I don't know that one.
the
Oh.
other person did not reciprocate. So, everybody just decided to settle for what they have.
I don't know about that one, but let's move on from that because I cannot explain.
My opinions, though, my opinion.
So let's talk about ghosting in friendships. Do you think it's just personal or it's just life? Lifing.
So most times, especially for the real friends, is lifing.
Hmm.
Sometimes you're just going through so much that you don't even have time to go through all that you are going through before you remember that you want to check up on someone, or before you remember that, oh my God, I've not heard from this person in a while. Sometimes life is just life, and you're trying to juggle work, you're trying to juggle maybe a relationship, you're trying to juggle your religion, you're trying to juggle family. A lot is already going on, and then there's a friend somewhere. So sometimes it's hard to strike that balance. Some people are lucky with it. They know how to balance it all. But some people they don't. I personally I struggle with it. Those that have stayed with me like as my friends for the longest, I give them accolades because
They've been there.
they
They've
don't
been through a
try.
lot.
They don't try. It's hard for Temitope to pick up her phone and say she wants to check up on someone. It takes a lot. I these days I just try to be intentional about it because it's when you've zoned out so much into yourself, and then you're going through so much, or an event like what we just went through recently just strikes,
Yeah.
and then you see the amount of people that actually do care enough to still check on you even after you've ghosted them for so long. It kind of gives you this reawakening that you can actually do better for them too, if they could still
Show
pay,
up and show out
yeah,
like that.
pay this much attention to you even after you zone them out. I've zoned a lot of people out for years, for months even. So for me to be going through what we're going through and still have them care so much, I'm like, Temitope, you can do better. You get so, but for them to still feel the need to do that much for me as their friend, it just shows I have the right friends in my
In your
circle.
circle. That makes a lot of sense. So, guys, this is a wake up call, for people that don't like to check up on their friends, or, you zoned everybody out and you're just a one man army.
Yeah,
You
trust
can do
me,
better.
that life is lonely.
It's
It
lonely, it's
actually gets
tiring.
lonely. I mean, it just gets monotonous. At some point, I was just used to the same cycle. I go to work, I go to church, I'm back home. I go to work, I go to church, and I'm back home. I don't want to hang out with nobody. I'm, swamped in my work life, swamped in church, swamped. I'm just doing me. There are times where I'm just by myself. I'm not working. I'm not praying or reading the Bible. I'm not watching a movie. I'm just there. I'm just
Just
thinking of my life.
there,
And I'm like,
bored stiff.
this is loneliness. So, and my church doesn't even support it. Our saying is we do life together. So if we do life together and I'm trying to zone myself out of the entire life that I'm supposed to be doing with people, it's not healthy. Personally, it's not healthy. And it's actually not fair on the people you call friends.
Very
It's not
true.
fair on the people you call friends. So you just need to do better. If they can be intentional about you, it means you can
Then
be
be intentional
intentional
about
about them
them.
too. Yeah. So I've learned. I'm
That
learning. I'm
that
getting
that,
better.
that makes that makes sense. So why do you think it's difficult, to make new friends as an adult?
My dear, how is it not difficult? Okay, now let me just give you a brief scenario. Uh, of course, I had friends in the university, secondary school, jam lessons, all of that. I've made friends before I became the career woman that I'm becoming, because I believe I'm still
Just
becoming.
to become
So yes, I mean, I get to a workplace, you start talking to people, you're working with people, you see people every day, but for you to just let them in, it's not as easy, trust me, because you people are practically competing for the same thing. You people are working in the same environment, or if God help you, you're in the same unit, or if God help you, you have the same goal. You are trying to achieve. Let's say you even want the same promotion.
hey,
How can that person be your friend?
you're my friend though.
That person is just an acquaintance. If you make the mistake of friendship with that kind of a person, trust me, trust me,
It's not going to end
trust
well.
me, it cannot end well. Although you can also make adult friendships that are genuine. I can make a friend as I am now, and the person will actually have my back, and I will actually have the person's back. But the number one reason why it is very difficult to make adult friendships is we're grown. Characters are formed. You are not developing like that, like that. You are you. That person is that person. So there's already conflict of interest, there's already conflict of ideas, there's already conflict of beliefs. So you don't see the need to make compromise for just a friend.
Very true.
So it's hard for each of you to blend. Even if you blend today, you can fight tomorrow. You get, as against if you're trying to be in a love relationship with that person. Of course, you want to make a compromise for this person. There's special
There's something.
there's a
There's a
need,
need.
there's a desire. People are trying to help each other. But for just ordinary friendship, to compromise so much for a friendship as an adult, some people like, any you carry me now.
Hey,
You
now
are not
I can do
feeding me.
without you.
You are not
Technically,
clothing me. So I beg, once you people have issues like that, you just fall out. As against you that you have been coming since 1999, the person knew you when you don't have breasts, or the person knew
But
you when you don't have beard, that that kind of thing. So there's a level of vulnerability that you guys have shared
yes, they've
while
seen you
growing.
change over
They've been
time.
through so much. They've seen you cry. They've seen you laugh. They've seen, as against someone that you just met maybe a year ago in the same organization.
I don't even think that people you meet at work are technically your friends.
It's hard.
They can be your friends maybe in the long run, but I just don't vibe it. Maybe that's just a personal feeling
It's
though.
because at that you have grown. You've already put your walls. You have your walls around you. You have certain barriers. You have
Boundaries.
exactly. So it's hard to just let new people in. It's easier to deal with those you've been coming with. Those ones that already respect those boundaries, those walls, and those limits, as against trying to teach a new person the limits, the boundaries, it's a lot. So it's very hard unless you're actually intentional about making a new friend as an adult. It's not an easy task.
Definitely not an easy task. So how can you not become intentional about your adult friendship?
Technically, you're especially the ones that you make maybe in a new church or in a new area, for example, maybe you just moved in. You need to have relationships with people you stay with. For granted that you see them every day. You come out of if the house is on fire in your absence, would they not just look and pass because
Because they don't know
that girl
you.
that know used to greet somebody, or that girl that you need people. Or maybe you're driving and then you just have a flat tire and in front of your compound and everybody in your area is passing beside you because they don't know you. You need people as an adult, so you have to be intentional about making maybe not in-depth friends,
But
but
it's something a bit like
people that you can still rely on, people that you can share
casual.
ideas with, people that can advise you financially, people you can advise spiritually, people that you can still benefit from, just mutual
So just
benefits.
some like
You
mutual
get.
benefit.
So when you know that you need those kind of things as an adult, of course you would be intentional about making a certain level of friends, as an adult. Now I said a certain level because the level of entrance that you give those people as an adult
Can't be the
should
same.
it can't be the same as those that you've been coming with from 1999. Do you get? So you just have to
Mm-hmm.
be intentional about letting people in to a certain extent. Still maintain your boundaries, maintain your standards, maintain your principles, but be open to relating with people. You cannot do life alone.
Very true. So let me ask this final question. What do you do about people that were friends first, then they became business partners, then all of a sudden now you're no longer friends safe because business went south or whatnot. So what do you do to those kind of people?
Now it's hard, especially if it's business that scatter them.
Yeah,
Because
business.
they say money. When
But
money,
no,
Yoruba people say owó ló máa ń ba ojú ọ̀rẹ́ jẹ́.
definitely.
So when it's a money issue or it's a business issue, it's hard. You can just try if you really want to. You don't want to burn that bridge.
Hmm.
You still want to mend that bridge. If you really want to mend that bridge, take it slow because it takes two to tango. If the person is not willing,
Yes.
maybe that person has even burnt the bridge and you are the one still looking at the bridge. You get. So just in case the person has burnt the bridge and the person doesn't want the friendship or the relationship anymore, just start with basic hello, good afternoon, or maybe happy new month or happy Sunday, or send God bless you, or business ideas, or petty. Start small. Start cha. Don't go all in
All
because
out.
the person can't just bounce you right back because
And you're about
he's
to
repelling or she is repelling whatever energy you're bringing. So you just small.
take it
Then
soon.
see the person's reaction. If this person is reacting positively, proceed. If the person is not, then that bridge is burnt. Move on.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the way it goes now, the final word is adult friendships are possible.
Yeah.
So you just have to be intentional about it and
Yeah.
kind of like watch, what you share and how much you let them in.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for listening, and you can feel free to leave your comments about your own adult friendships, whether you have adult friendships or you're just not choosing to have any new friend and you just prefer to go with your old guys.
And
So for now, bye guys.
bye guys.